Hello, Shehnaz.
Hi, Anya.
Hi. Last time we started with Merkaba. Today we can start with the plant, huh?
That's a great idea. So, what plant represents. Plant, and I have plants too, so we can say that, right? Do you want me to go there?
Yes. Yes, please. I'm always excited to hear something new from you.
Well, so if anybody who's watching this video, whether they're a 6-year-old child or whether they're 80-year-old, woman, it doesn't really matter. Everybody should know that the plant, which is all around us, that's where we should be teaching math to school in this, because the plant is showing you the Fibonacci sequence part of the math. The plant is showing you the fractal holographic reality part of math. The plant is also showing you the biophoton that we have within our DNA that actually enables us to become healthy on our own because of the self-sustaining craft we are. All of that aspect is embedded in the plant as well. So it's kind of like we have that to learn from the plant, right? Even the color, the very fact that the green is the color that it's reflecting is the only color that we see because that's the only color that is actually not observed.
Absolutely mind blowing. I read that in your book as well. So, of course, yeah.
Yes,
And all these patterns and sacred geometry is everywhere. It's everywhere.
exactly.
Yeah, I love that. So, you know what I wanted to share with you? Tomorrow, I'm key speaker at the job fair, the national job fair, and I'm going to share my wisdom with fresh graduates. And I wanted to ask you, what would be your advice to them when they are starting their career journey? Because, the world has changed. When I was a student or when you were a student, like things were a little bit different. And I think like the access to information and technology and all this stuff, yeah, it is different, it's more advanced. So what would you say to all this fresh, ambitious graduates that they are just waiting to jump on a job market and to start their career?
Okay. So first of all, it's an interesting place, right? So you're talking about graduates who have already chosen a certain profession and then they actually got the degree in that particular profession, right? So it would really help people to get the message across before they even decide what graduation program they should go into, just in general. But everybody's maturity level and level of understanding life is different, right? So there are times you kind of graduate and then you say that, okay, now I want to.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it depends on wherever you are, right? And to me, this message applies whether you are somebody who is passionate about becoming a doctor and became a doctor, or somebody who became a doctor because their parents said be one, and now they are a doctor and they're looking for a job, regardless of your condition, right? So you have to remember whatever your passion is going to play in because that's part of your input, right? So if you were one of those people who actually was extremely passionate about the profession you're in, then now what you need to do is because, this is where rubber meets the road. So you have to make sure that whatever reason you actually pick the profession, you want to make sure you keep that light to continue, right? So if your intention was that you want to be a doctor so you can heal humanity, you want to make sure you continue that. And when you think that as your input, it makes it easier to make a choice in whom you're going to join. Because whomever you're going to join as a company, as an organization, as a person, that person has to be willing to dance with you like you are. And if you're going to go into an organization, at least you should feel good when you go for your interviews. So you have to basically use your intuition as a gauge to see whether they are dancing with. But one of the key things that I would say is that they have to be very clear in their own intention, right? So that they know what they truly want to attract and create. And also then they have to ask for the intention of the organization or the group or the person so that they can see whether it aligns. And sometimes when you don't ask, you can feel it while you are working with them, right? So it's either, that dance is going to be very interesting, but they have to be very aware of it. And the other thing I want to say for people who may be in the profession and when they start working, they realize that they made the biggest mistake of their life is that they make sure that they don't have to get disheartful because it's a good input, right? Now let's see how can we do course correction. So there's a course correction in every step. It can depend on how deep you are in your passion and what you have graduated with, right? So yeah.
Yeah, that's absolutely perfect what you just said, because a lot of people, when they realize, oh my God, I don't want to do that, and maybe, it's like it can be really fast. It can be maybe after 6 months. And then they blame themselves for this decision. And it's not like that. Yeah. From quantum perspective, from higher perspective, there's a lot of things going on, in the background, in backstage. So I think that every decision is the right decision.
Exactly. You're absolutely right, because it's all about the alignment at that particular moment.
Exactly. Yeah. And there are different realities anyway. So you can, you can jump from one timeline to another and, to create another reality based on your decision and based on your perspective.
And you can learn how to basically traverse space and time where it's no longer linear, right? So that is one thing that when you're aware of that, it just opens the door to so many opportunities.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, and also one other thing that I was thinking about this today, when, like, if you see job searching, job hunting, whatever, from quantum perspective. So when you, for example, have a person that he or she is sending their CV, to a company, and then on the other side, somebody is reading that CV, which is representation of this person's past experiences. Yeah. And this, employer or HR person, he or she kind of creates this image in his or her head, which, in the end, it doesn't have anything to do with the real image of, the real person. So can you tell us a little bit more about this? What exactly is happening? Because when somebody is creating an image of somebody else who they haven't met yet, they just, read the CV, it can get really, what can I say? Like, it can get complicated when, they actually meet and they see, oh my God, this is not the person that I had in my head.
Right.
I think that could be a game, or that could be, like, I'm not going to say a disaster, but we could really avoid that kind of situation. Cannot?
Right. And it depends on whether you want to avoid it or not, right? Because at the end of the day, two people are contributing to that experience. It's not just an experience of the person who's looking at the resume. It's also the one who wrote the resume in the first place. It's a handshake. So if you think about it, Anya, like when I was writing the book, The Quantum Being, right? I was like having an affair of my life with myself, right? And you can see that I saw that energy when you contacted me, right? Because I actually was having an affair, and people who pick up that energy like you did, you are having an affair also. And then you come to me and you basically feel that oneness already with me, right? So that's a very large example. I mean, because the book is way bigger than the resume. But what I'm saying is, and this is a great thing for everybody to remember, is when you do your resume, of course you want to follow a certain professional, mechanism and pattern and structure and whatever. But at the end of the day, you gotta look at the resume and basically put yourself in the resume from a much more than just one perspective. So that's why when the receiving person can pick up, because you're storing the energy, because energy stays in the dark matter.
Exactly. This is what I'm trying also, to pass the message on, because I can see it like that. And the thing is, because I have this ability to feel the energy of the text of the resume, I can feel the energy of job ad. I exactly know what is going on, behind one job ad, which is it's very difficult to explain in words, but I can feel it. And I know, I mean, it would be really, really cool if people would be aware that they are actually transmitting the energy when they are writing their resume. And if they want to present themselves as somebody that they're not, that they are faking or they are pretending, it's not going to work. For some, it works. It was like, oh, Anya, I got this amazing job because I lied on my resume. I was like, yeah, for how long? Or like, what do you think? Like, he created karma with that? Or what would you say?
Yeah, because golden rule applies to every action that we perform, right? So, and to me, what goes around comes around. And that is pretty much the Newton's third law of motion. Okay, this is a cause and effect. So all of these, right? These different words, golden rule, cause and effect, everything is the same. So the point of the story is that why not you become more transparent to yourself and others? And the more you start doing that, while you're starting the process, you may have to go through some transition heartaches, but at the end of the day, isn't it much more fun that now you're going to be dancing like a bird in the sky? Because that's what I want to teach everyone, right? And it's all kind of like, the more everybody starts doing it, it's going to become so beautiful and so harmonious.
Yeah, it's like on higher vibrational frequency level. Yeah, when you are really aligned with yourself and you are not afraid to show who you really are, then you raise vibration, and then you can be vibrational match also to opportunities on the other side.
That's exactly how you create flower of life, right? That's exactly how you create all the beautiful objects that we see. It's because of the coherence, right? That's because of the organizing principle. It's because of the coming together. So we are all about coming together. And therefore, we are actually sharing all these wisdoms because we are saying that all the information is already within you. You just have to make sure you honor it, accept it, express it, and live it.
Yeah. And what would you say, for example, a few days ago, I got a question, Anja, how can I be in more receiving mode, but not only for financial abundance, but also for relationships or for business opportunities or for career opportunities? Do you think like this is some I don't know, synchronized, or it's it's like how can I say, like step by step, first is like relationship or signals will be shown, on this area at first. What how can we influence on that, or what can we do regarding this?
It's actually very simple. So the way we do it, and I'll express it to you right now, right? So let's say that what you do is because you want to acknowledge your spiritual self. When you want to do this work, you want to go straight from physical, emotional, mental to spirit. And in order to be aware of your spiritual self, you have to kind of like, just close your eyes, because that way you're not distracted by the physical appearance. You close your eyes, you kind of get yourself connected to the earth grid. And then you want to ask this, like you want to look, like observe the observer, right? So you want to look at yourself as a person who is wondering how to be in more receiving end. It's a very simple answer. Is the more you're going to be in receiving end, if you're going to be breathing, if you're going to be in touch, if you're no longer going to be hung up, attached to anything that can give you like a heart attack, right? You want to make sure that, I mean, I'm exaggerating the situation, but the point is that, right? It's like you want to be extremely in that. And you're going to know, like there are people, places, experiences that you are like, oh my God, I do it because, I've been doing it all my life. I mean, so it's a very deep process, which is why, when you do any kind of one-on-one coaching, it becomes like a deep process. So I'm just giving you a little bit of a surface analysis here, is that, your first step is to actually look at yourself as a forest, observe the observer, and then just let go of all the attachments and see the attachment that's serving you and let go of the one that's not. And that would be the best way to get out of your own way.
To jump the timeline, to create a new reality.
To be more aligned. Yes.
To be more aligned with it. Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. And what would you say, like, what could be like the first signals that can somebody notice? And it's like, oh, now I believe that I'm in high vibrational frequency level because this and this and this is happening. For some people, this is like completely new. And it's like, what happened? I was like, yeah, synchronicities. What the hell is synchronicities? But like, what would you say? What could be the signals?
Signals are going to be so obvious to you that you won't even ask the question. And I'll give you a very quick example in my case, right? But people who are seeing numbers and letters and all of that, they're already basically aligning themselves more and more. But when you start aligning yourself to the point where every single aspect of your life becomes magical, you're going to be like so much in the flow at that. You don't ask the question anymore because you are basically living it. So I'll use my example that on Sunday, I go to a party, and right when I'm driving to the party, I see the nameplate that says UFO expert. Okay. So I'm trying to understand that, am I a UFO expert or am I going to meet one? Right? Because it's a very interesting nameplate. I go there, I meet this.
NASA.
Actually, I'm a UFO expert because you're right. So I actually realized I had to be UFO expert in that context. So I go, and the very fact that I was asked to speak in the UFO conference, right? So I go in the party, this woman, her name is Elizabeth Queen. Can you believe Queen Elizabeth, right?
Wow, really? Oh my gosh. Okay.
Exude the energy of a person that I would love to be, friend with. And then she started talking about her art, which is called Octopus. It's made of glass. And then she started saying, because I'm going to Sarasota, she said, it's in the museum in Sarasota, Florida. And then I told her that I'm meeting Dr. Octopus today, which is the same day I'm going to Sarasota, Florida. Now you see how Octopus, Sarasota,
yeah, perfect.
UFO expert.
It's all aligned.
This all starts happening like that. And I'm telling you, it's basically what I would love people to start living like this, because then they will no longer be asking questions. They're going to be actually, answering their own question.
Yeah. I know. I mean, this is my way of life, definitely, So whenever I'm like driving or I'm outside or whatever, and I see the signals, I'm just like, oh, hey, oh, it's you. Oh, hey, thank you. Oh my God. Oh, yeah, thanks. It's all about this.
And
So it becomes kind of fun. Yeah, it's like I'm always aware what is going on, around me, which is pretty cool. Not
and I want to
outside distraction, but it's more, like what is like soul aligned
And I want to
signals.
acknowledge that, Anya, is because of your listening in, you actually not just reach out to me, you just show the love that is very rare to find nowadays, right? So that's what I'm saying, that you actually followed your calling, you took the action, and then you met with someone like me who loves the transparency. So it was a marriage made in heaven. And that's what's going to happen. People are going to start meeting each other, and it's no longer a question because, you kind of feel it in their heart and soul that you're meant to work together, you were meant to walk together. And when you're doing that type of dance, then we're no longer having to do the lie detection test.
Exactly. And we don't have to chase opportunities or look for opportunities. Or yeah, I can say that, for example, in my world, like the future lead generation, it's completely different meaning. And all like talent acquisition, it's completely different meaning because it's all based on vibrational frequency. We find each other.
Exactly,
We
exactly.
don't have to look for each other, because we just attract each other. So
Exactly.
that's
And
awesome.
so many visions are coming in my mind, Anya, for you, especially to implement, is because if you want to help people connect with the right people, then you want to help people understand how to make sure that they're clear in their vision, they're clear
Yeah.
in their goal, right? And they're clear with their intention. So these are the three things that's extremely important. And then once you can understand that, then you can do the best for them and they can do the best for themselves.
Yeah, and when I'm talking to people, when I have this as a career empowerment chat or whatever, when they open their heart to me and I can feel that they trust me, I can easily provide messages for them. I can easily, like seriously, it's like a flow, like it goes through me. But when I feel on the other side that there's hesitation, or it's like, just yeah, maybe this is not something I'm blocked. I cannot give them messages. I cannot even pretend because it's like it's blank. Nothing comes through, and I cannot work with people who doesn't have their heart open. I cannot collaborate or communicate with people because it's like nothing is coming through. Can
Right.
you
So
imagine? It's like it's really I'm on that level that I'm physically blocked if I'm surrounded with people that are not aligned with me.
So it seems like that your experience answers for itself, right? Because when it's flowing, then you know that channel is open and you can communicate. When it's not, then and it kind of works itself out because you don't want to go against the prime directive, right? You don't want to do something to someone who's not ready. So everybody has their own pace. And I think it kind of works itself out.
Yeah. And I think that people should realize, that they all have this ability. We all have this ability. It's just like we are pieces of puzzle. So I have something, that somebody else can benefit. And, they have something that I can benefit. And our collaboration and with Perry and, with whoever will collaborate in the future. But yeah, the world is, despite everything, is beautiful. It's beautiful when you look at it like this. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Full of
And that
opportunity.
and that is the thing, right? That every single person that comes in your experience, it's kind of like a portal, right? Portal of
Yeah.
the existence. And then it depends on their willingness, intention, all of that, what they want to open and what they want to close. And everybody
Mm.
gets to make that choice. But I think one of the things that would help is that if everybody starts at least making the choice that serves them, the
Yeah.
right choice, so that they can be aligned with all they stand for.
It's true. So if we can just touch chapter 11, I wrote it down, about, oh, I love it. I mean, but I have to admit, when I was reading your book, it was, Jesus, this is so complicated, some stuff like scientific, point of view, because my mind is not able to process all the formulas and all the scientific stuff. But it's very, very interesting to see it from both perspectives. It's like, for me, this is like the Bible of spiritual science synergy. So, and I'm super proud and super excited to promote it. But when you were talking about the time, the time is relative. Yeah, we said that. And it's not it's not linear. How can we use this awareness in everyday life, like for people who are listening today?
So
How can that help them, for example?
So the very first thing I would say is that don't use time to be the reason for you to do certain thing or not do certain thing. Because you know how people say, I don't have time for this. Oh, I'm running out of time. Like people use time as the center of attention. So because time truly does not, time actually was created as a tool to trace each other into material existence. That was the
Okay.
only reason time actually is part of our equation. But time is not the driver. Time is just a tool. And a lot of people have decided to kind of really adjust their entire life around time rather than the other way around. So to me, because time is a tool, and of course, if I want to meet Anya, then I'm going to respect the fact that we set up a time, right? So that way we both can show up. We can do this together. So in that particular context, it's important to set up a time and have this exchange. However, when you want to make sure you go for a massage and then you keep saying that, oh, I don't have time for that. Now that is not actually the right statement. You should say, massage is not my priority.
Yeah.
And as soon as you revert that statement like that, you're going to start catching yourself that, is that not really my priority? I would love to get a massage. So then why am I not doing it? You see, and it will help you reorient your life so you do what you love and you don't do what you're told.
Yeah, but for example, why people, they want to do something for themselves, like work on themselves, or like, to focus on their spiritual or personal development. But then they get the solution and it's like, okay, I don't have time to implement it. What do you think? Like, what is in the background? What is going on? Like they want to change, they want to do something, but it's like, oh, I don't have time to, check this out, or I don't have time to see this video, to read this. I don't have time to, I don't know, to go to this event and to meet this person. Yeah. Isn't it that interesting? Like when you think about it?
Yeah, so basically it's obvious that those things, there are two reasons it's happening. One is that they're not prioritizing it because they are,
Themselves.
right, they're not prioritizing those things, right? But the reason they're not prioritizing it is because in their subconscious, it's kind of like they are coming in their own way. It's more like that they're blocking themselves because it's good for them. It's partly because they don't think they deserve it. It's basically the self-talk that we do to ourselves to self-sabotage. So there are many reasons for it, right? So at the end of the day, it all comes back to you. So whenever somebody's not doing something that's good for them, then technically they're the one who's going to have the side effect. And if and they may not realize it because in their mind they think that they're still looking pretty good for everybody else. But to me, like when you live a life that looks good on paper, what life is that? Why not you live the life that is good in every aspect of your feeling the existence?
With all the ups. I think that's a good advice. Yeah. We just have to embrace everything. Yeah. Not just roses and sunshines.
Yeah, exactly. And we have to be very aware of our obstacles that we create within our own path. The more we become aware of it, because, at the end of the day, if you're not doing something or if you're not having something, it's because you are the one who's stopping yourself from it. And then you just have to understand why.
Yeah, absolutely agree. Awesome. Perfect. So would you like to share anything else with the audience of Just Ask Quantum? Because I think like we are, we are covering so many topics, but everything is connected. So even if maybe some topics are not, like from like at first sight, they don't go together, but everything is connected. I see this bigger picture. And I think everything what we are saying, it's, it's beneficial for somebody.
Everything is connected. And I think what I would convey to the audience is that let's start converging our visions, right? So like me and Anya basically are here to facilitate this conversation. So that way we can have fun, of course, because we love seeing each other, but we also can expand each other's understanding. But we also want to make sure that everybody else who's listening is truly getting what they need from us, right? Because when they get something that they need from us, then we get something that we need from them, because it is always going to be a handshake. So to us, that is the most important thing, that we create that synergy and we start expressing our visions to each other. So I would basically ask people to start sharing the vision that they have. And then, like we can start all doing the part that we want to do. So we can create that symphony, right? That orchestra, that music, that sacred geometry, that it's going to start looking like a heaven on earth, because we all will have to actually dance together. And the vision that I get, Anya, when I talk about these things is whenever you watch a Victorian movies, movies where people are dancing, right? Like lined up like a
Yeah,
like
in a huge castle, you mean, or like a mansion.
yeah, and everybody's basically like, when you watch any kind of Victorian shows where there's a girl and then there's a guy and then they're dancing and then they dance and then they change partners, right?
Yeah,
That
yeah,
entire
yeah.
thing is what I'm
Oh,
seeing
that's
right now, right? So I want
yeah.
that dance for us to start happening. Like we start doing this, we start learning about each other. And I think that in this synergy, it's going to be very multidimensional, right? So therefore, people need to be very open about expressing themselves and kind of like saying that what are the blocks, because the more we can overcome the blocks and the fears, the more we're going to be aligned. And I'm like, let's go straight and start addressing things one by one and start unveiling it, unlayering it, and basically have fun dancing.
Yes, I love this dancing picture, and also when I think about, for example, like every single person, like I have a message that I want to share with the world. You have a message and the vision that you want to share with the world. I think every single person, like within, they have that message that they want to share with the world. And a lot of time I ask people, just imagine yourself that you are climbing up I don't know, Mount Everest, and you have a megaphone with you, and now you're standing on top of the world, and you have the option to share a message with the world, with the whole humanity. What would that message, and that message usually comes, of course, from the deepest part of their heart. And I think they can start there with that message, and then they can build whatever they want to build on that. Would you say that
Exactly.
that's correct?
Exactly. And that is the right. Like, so that message, like, so at least I can say my message is the quantum being. We all want to be the quantum being, right? And want to implement the quantum being. So that's the message. And the whole idea is that once you understand what that message is, then also understand that it doesn't really matter how you convey the message, whom you convey with. It all doesn't matter. What matters is that you continuously
Share it.
broadcast that message. Exactly. You
That
continuously
you can
broadcast that
share it.
message, whether you do it on social media, off social media, all that doesn't matter, because when you're
Exactly.
broadcasting with your DNA, law of attraction will multiply and you're going to have the most incredible life, regardless.
Exactly. And because when you just do that first step, you give a signal to the universe, that you are fully in your power and you are not afraid to share that with the world. And I think that can really create huge ripple effect also, in your
Yes,
life and in
100%.
everybody else's life. So,
100%
awesome.
excited.
Yeah.
Yes.
Perfect. So, yeah, that's it for today. That was
Yeah,
amazing. Again, yeah, it's 9 p.m. here, so you still have like what, half day to finish?
that's true.
Yeah, it's like 7 hours apart. Yeah.
Yep. That's
Good.
my starting day. So, yeah, thank you for this opportunity and we shall see each other again.
Very soon. Very soon. I'm gonna text you on WhatsApp a little bit later. Yeah.
Bye.
Take care, Shehnaz. Have an amazing day. Thank
Yes.
you.
Bye.
Bye bye.